things can seem boring on the internet, seem very samey, very sloppy. There is so much crap on here, so much copy pasted content, dishonest, algorithm catching, that it really feels like when people talk about the dead internet theory, that it has some ground, and that we are probably doomed, or there is like not that many things going on in the internet. But I really believe that it's the opposite, that you are one of the key that can solve this. I believe that in the early days of the internet, what was really different was more about the proportion of people who were participating compared to the people who were just there to watch or just react. I believe that this proportion has changed a lot, and now it's actually when I create content online, even outside of those videos. Of course, I make newsletter, I make posts, I make art online, and it really feels like sometimes it really feels lonely. Not that there is like very few, like a dozen people who create. Of course, there is like 100,000 people making things online, but it's a very small proportion compared to the people who are just watching, compared to the people who are just consuming passively, maybe leaving a comment from time to time. I mean, even that, it's very rare. So what I really want to encourage you now is to fight the slop, not by just complaining about it or being sad, but by actually starting engaging. Because if you start just creating even basic thing, it doesn't have to be a YouTube video like I do. It doesn't have to be a newsletter, although I really recommend it. It's very fun. But just from the moment you go outside and, for example, create a meme, create a funny post for your friends, anything like that, from the moment you create and bring values for people, like be useful for just for entertainment or just helping people out when they need to, this really is the fuel that makes the internet alive. And I think just by, first of all, if you move towards creating instead of just consuming, you're gonna feel way more fulfilled in your life. Trust me. I really barely have time to, for example, watch TV shows, play games, or just mindlessly scrolling, because I create, and it's way more fulfilling. And you're gonna feel like, and the magical thing about when you create is that people respond. Might not be thousand, might not be like million of people going and congratulating you, but from the moment you have a few reactions, even from your friends, it really creates a conversation, and it makes the internet feels more alive. I really believe that if you want a more fulfilling experience online, creating anything, or I'm not saying that you should pursue social media as a career, try to be a YouTuber, that would be very cringe, or anything like that. I'm not saying this. I'm just saying that it's just more fun. It's just more fun to create things and make people laugh, teach something to people, and even if you have no ulterior motives, it will give you just so much more satisfaction. I think you are the key. I think if you want the internet to feel more alive, you need to take the matter into your own hand, not just complain about it privately. There is, and even if you have like even hobbies that are like slightly diverging from like the big masses, you will realize that people are not really, there's not a lot of people talking about it. Like if there is like a new game release, or maybe games might be different, but although if you something, for example, is new and there is not much information about it, piece of news, etc., I think people will really benefit from either your insight, you just sharing your experience about something. Because if you look at for example, on Reddit by chronological tab, So the most recent first, you would see that actually very few people actually post in proportion, even on very big topic, very popular topic, as long as they are not like slash pictures or something like that. The On any subject, there is like very few people actually talking and taking the mic. So you have your space. There is nothing preventing you from that. If you want to bring more discussion, if you wish, I'm gonna phrase it this way because I work like that a lot. If I make those videos, if I make those, the topic I choose are basically the ones I feel like nobody talks about, and I feel so lonely on those because like I would really want to watch someone who talks about subject like this because I had to figure out a lot of things on my own or just by crossing different communities to find information that interest me. So I really wish more people were doing the thing I do, talking about the thing I do. And I'm sure you yourself, you wish people were talking about another subject you're interested in, any kind of subject, might be like life stuff or entertainment, any topic like this. And I would really encourage you, instead of seeking and not finding things that people that think like you just express yourself forward and you might find new people. That's what I wish you.